Hello everybody and welcome to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In this video I'll be going over a requested video for a subscriber who wanted me to show them how to create a puzzle door that has multiple keys or multiple objects in order for the player to be able to access entering that room or through the door, etc, etc. So what I mean is basically kind of similar to how Resident Evil, where you have to find like 3 pieces of an amulet and then you place them together on the door and the door is then unlocked. So it's very similar to that. So without further ado, let's jump in to the video and I'll show you how to create that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to modeling tool, and in here we are going to add a box. So left click, drag that into our scene, and then we're going to click accept and then press in the R key. We're going to manipulate the size of this and just create like a door frame or an access point. So let's stretch that out. Let's see how big that is for the player. Okay, a bit bigger, and then go back into modeling tool, and then we're going to add a box, and then we're going to place that where we want. Let's get our location, and I'm going to copy that into here so it's centralized. And then we're going to create a door shape, like a large opening kind of gate, and make sure it goes all the way through, which it does. And then we're going to check the size again in game, maybe a little bit taller, so up slightly on the Z. Yeah, that's perfect there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select our wall, and we're going to select our door. What we're going to do first, is we're going to make a copy of that, place that over there, and then we're going to select our wall and our cutout, and then we're going to mesh bool. So modeling tools. If you don't have modeling tools enabled, you can do that through plugins, and then search for modeling tools, and then save, restart. So we're going to click mesh bool, which is going to place us a nice cut in that wall, and then we're going to grab our other mesh, drag that in, scale that down, drag that in position, right click and paste because we already had the coordinates for this object. So there we have it, nice and centralized. So then what we can do is we can animate this to open up, and we have our 3 objects in the scene. So let's make this a little bit bigger, but we don't want to mess with the gap here in the doorway. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to poly edit. We're going to take these two, and we're going to come out slightly to up there, and then we're going to take these 2 and these 2, and then we're going to come out to about maybe there, and then we're going to take these top 2 and these top 2, and then we're going to go up and then click accept. So now when the door comes up, it's got somewhere to go into. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect because this is just a tutorial, but it just looks a little bit better. So we're going to fix these, make them a little bit nicer. Scale, plain box. There we go. So now that we've done that, we need to create 3 objects that we want to use as our puzzle key. So this can be absolutely anything. So we'll go into my first person character just to show you the code that I'll be using for this. which would be this one. So this is what I have set up. You can pause the video and copy this code. I'm not going to go over this in detail because this is a video that something I've set up in a different video. But basically how this works is when I right mouse button and I hold it down, I will pick up the object and drag it around with me, and then when I let go of the object it will fall, or I can throw it. So I'll pause there for a second and then pause there for a second so you can see how this code works. So this is going to enable me to pick up anything that's physical, so anything that has physics. So moving on from that, we're going to create three puzzle pieces, so 3 keys, so a multi-piece puzzle to open a door. So we're going to go to a new folder. I'm going to name this one tutorial puzzles. I'm going to open that. So in here I'm going to create 3 actors. So we've got 1, 2, so oops, not that one. So you're going to right click, blueprint class, actor. So we've got 3 actors. So that's right click, blueprint class, actor. So you want 3 of these. You can have as many as you like, and I'll show you how to set this up. So in here we're going to, let's move that over to this screen. So in here all we're going to do is add a static mesh, and this is going to be our puzzle piece 1. So we're going to copy that because it saves me writing it out 3 times. So this is going to be a puzzle piece 1, and in here we're going to add let's say a cube. Any old cube will do. This can be your mesh. So whatever you want your key to be is where you're gonna create this in here as well. So if you have a model of a amulet or a puzzle piece that you want to use, this is where you're going to be adding that in. So let's compile, save. Now selecting our puzzle piece, we also want to go down to simulate physics and then compile and save. Okay, I'm going to drag that into the scene to see the size. So I probably want that a little bit bigger. So let's go in here. Let's drag this up and then pop that there. Compile. Yeah, that'll do. And I'm going to get us a nice little table just so we can put these pieces on. And then we can drag that up there. Okay, so we can see that it has physics. So I'll show that again. There we go. So this object now is ready with physics properties. If I drop that down and go into the game, you can see I can't pick this up. Actually, sorry, I can pick this up. I thought I couldn't at first. So I can pick this up because I have that physics constraint. So this is going to enable me to create a key system. So I find this piece, I have to bring it back to this door. I place it where it needs to go, and then I need 2 more pieces for this door to unlock. So now that we've done that bit, we can speed on a little bit more with the next bit. So we've done this, and then we can close that, and then for the next one, so we're going to go to this, browse to asset. We're going to open up our second one, so we're going to name these. This is going to be puzzle piece 1, and then we want puzzle piece 2, and then finally we want this one, puzzle piece 3. Excuse me. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. You can have as many of these as you like. So we've got this one in the scene. We're going to place the next one in. We're going to make this one red. So let's go here to here. I'm going to create a red block. And the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to open up our puzzle piece 2. Bear with me, let me drag this onto the other screen. So now that we have this one done, let's compile and save, add a static mesh, and then in here we're going to add a cube, and then this one, and we're going to enable simulate physics with a mass of 100, compile and save. We're going to go into our other blueprint, which is the first one we created. So back into the scene, click on that, and then we'll go to edit new blueprint, go to viewport, click on the cube, and then we're going to get this here, which is our scale. I'm going to copy that, close, and then in our puzzle piece 2, which was this one, puzzle piece 2, going to paste, so we get a very similar size to the other one. Okay, so compile, save, and then we're going to minimize, and then we're going to drag that into the scene, and then we're going to make this one blue. So we go down here, and then we go blue. Let's see if we can find a blue texture. That'll do. Did I do the right one? Yeah, we did. Okay. So now we have a blue piece, and this also has physics properties. Perfect. So what we're going to do now is the same process again, but for the third one. So it's going to be this one. Drag that into the scene. Open it up. Drag this over to here because it's on the wrong screen. And then what we're going to do now is add another static mesh, just like this. And this is going to be our puzzle piece 3. So we go cube, scroll down, I'm going to take our static cube, and then we've already got our scale in our copy and paste, so we can paste, drag that up so it's off the on the floor. There, compile, save, simulate physics, compile, save, and close. And then this one's going to be yellow. So select our object, we go to puzzle piece 3, static mesh, and then we're going to go to our texture, and then we'll do yellow. Okay, so we have red, blue, and yellow, 3 pieces to a puzzle. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our modeling tool, create a box, pop that box into the scene, click accept, come out of modeling mode, drag that down so it's roughly the same size as this. So let's get its world location, copy that into our cube, and then we can scale that so it's about the same size as the other one, which is probably about right. And then we can place that on the wall. We can do one, let's say here, and then we'll do one, let's say there, and one maybe there. Actually, we'll do one there, and then we'll put on our snap. Let's do 10. 1, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. There we go. And then move them all over. So we have our 3 blocks that are going to represent these 3 actors. And then what we're going to do then is going to color coordinate them and name them the similar to this. So we've got what's this one? Puzzle piece 1. There we go. And this one's going to be piece 1. Piece 1. This is going to be piece 2. Piece 2. And this is going to be piece 3. Piece 3. Perfect. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to color coordinate these. So these are going to be, this is going to be the red one, this is going to be the blue one, and this is going to be the yellow one. So we're going to copy these, drag this out, and then we're going to get these two. I'm going to make them red. So red, you'll see why in a second. Oh no, clicked on the wrong thing. Red, and we want this one. No, we want the same as this. That'll do. So that one and that one are going to be red. This one and this one is going to be blue, and this last one is going to be yellow. So these two are going to be yellow. Okay, so we can shrink these down, move these into position, turn snapping off. Actually, we don't need to shrink them down, just move them all back slightly into the wall. I'm going to select our wall, go to modeling mode, we're going to select our wall and this mesh ball, done. Select our wall and this one, mesh ball, and done. And select our wall and the yellow one, mesh ball it, and done. And then these are going to represent, oops, our inserted puzzle blocks. So we know when we have the red one, we need to place it here. When we have the blue one, we need to place it here, and when we have the yellow one, we place it here. These are going to be the physics objects that we drag into the right slot. So I'll show you how to do that now. These are going to be in the scene but invisible. So I'm going to quickly rename these ones to piece 1 because it renamed them when I copied them. Piece 2, and with this one will be piece 3. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and 3. Red, blue, and yellow. Okay, so let's place these in position, which is going to be like this. And then we can go into our level blueprint, open level blueprint, get rid of that for now. And then we're going to right click, create reference to 3 selected actors. So we've got them there, back into our level. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, visibility, oops. And then we're going to uncheck, so they no longer exist, and when we play the game they're not there. So why did I do that? I'll show you. So what we're going to do now is let's place our 3 blocks on 3 tables. So we've got the blue one, and we have finally the yellow one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to quickly animate our door. So we're going to come out of here, go into our mezzanine actor, level sequence, and then we're going to add level sequence. This is going to be puzzle door open. Save. Select our door. Click track, actor to sequencer, add box 3, which is this one. Transform, delete and delete. Sorry, delete and delete. Location is going to be on the Z, so we can get rid of Y and X. Unless you're rotating it or moving it on those, then keep them. So we're going to click plus because that's where it starts, and then we're going to go to 7 seconds, and then at the 7-second mark we want it to be there. So now we have an animation. Save it and close. We don't want that to start the game, so we're going to go to our puzzle door open, which is our level sequencer in our old outliner, and then in our outliner we're going to select it. We're going to go down to where it says pause at end, check that box. Once we've checked that box, everything that we need to do with that is done. We're going to drag this in so we can see it. Go into our level blueprint, so that's here and here. We're going to add a reference to that and then move it out of the way. So it's time to start setting up our code. So we're going to click on variables, and we're going to go has puzzle piece 1 question mark, copy that, control C, and then we're going to do another variable, paste, change the 1 to a 2, and then one more variable, paste, change the 1 to a 3. So you should have 3 variables: has puzzle piece 1, yes or no; has puzzle piece 2, yes or no; has puzzle piece 3, yes or no. We're then going to create the code to set that up. So it's going to see if it has that has those pieces or not. So we're going to hold B to get a branch, and we're going to get another one and another one. And there's a few ways we can do that, but just for the ease of the tutorial, we're going to add a event tick. Try not to use these too often because they can be quite costly to the performance of the game, especially if you've got a lot of things firing off from your event tick. So use it sparingly and wisely. So event tick, and then we're going to pop that into there. So for those that don't know what an event tick is, it's kind of like the original game Lemmings. So an event tick is sending out a lemming every second, and this is the lemming. It reaches the branch. Oh, I can't go anywhere. I come back. It reaches the branch. It can't do anything. It comes back. If it gets there and it's true, then the lemming goes through, and then if it can't do anything, it comes back. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to place this here, this one here, and this one here. Oops. And out of the true into that one, out of the true into this one, and then I'm going to hold O for Oscar and then get a do once, or you can right click and search do once, and then out of true into there with a delay. Hold D for a delay, and then so it's hold D down on the keyboard, then left click will get you a delay node. It's the easiest way to do it. And then for the duration, I'm going to set it to 3 seconds, and then out of this, your sequencer, excuse me, we're going to get a play, just like this, and then that will go in there. So that's that done. Let's tidy this up a little bit. So the event tick's going to constantly search for these branches to be true, and the only way that these branches can be true is when we call them. To call a branch, hold Alt, left click and drag, and you're going to set them. So the only way this can be true is if it's set as true somewhere in your code, just like this. So let's do that now. So we're going to compile and save. Oops. And then we need to call these puzzle pieces. So let's create a trigger box. Trigger. And then we're going to drop that here. Place the trigger box over the puzzle area, so where the red one is. I'm going to name this one trigger piece 1, and then we're going to copy that and drag that over. I'm going to name this one trigger piece 2, and then we're going to name this one trigger piece 3. Perfect. So there's our 3 trigger boxes, and we're going to set these up now. So highlight all 3, go into our level blueprint, and then in here we're going to drag these down a bit, and then we're going to right click and then add on actor begin overlap. Now we've got all 3 of those trigger boxes that we can do all 3 pieces of code for. Move this down, give us a bit of space to work with, and this one as well. There we go. Okay, so we're going to cast to puzzle, but we need the right one, so it's called puzzle piece 1. Okay, so cast to actually puzzle piece, see if it's the right one. I think I named something else puzzle piece 1 too. Okay, so I think it's, let's just quickly rename these just because otherwise yeah, so I'm going to put this one 1A, 2A, 3A, and then hopefully puzzle piece. Do I need to save? Yeah, I need to rename them in the actual folder, so bear with me 1 second. There we go. So that's 1A, this is 2A, and this will be 3A. There we go. So now I should be able to call them in here. There we go. So there's 1A, which is what we wanted, and then we wanted puzzle piece 2A, and then the last one, puzzle piece, and then 3A, and then other actor goes into object, other actor into object, other actor into object. So you should have 3 pieces of code that look like this, and then your top piece of code that looks like this. Okay, so moving on, when we pick up the object and it interacts with the trigger box, we want the object to disappear, and we also want to set the visibility of the object that's there to visible. So out of this on the true, we are going to get our called pieces just like this, and then we're going to set visibility like this, and that's going to be into there. So oops, that's going to go like that. Actually no, we don't want it there, we want it down here. we're going to leave that alone and not put any code in there. So ignore me on that one. Just having a brain fart moment, you know. So we want this to go here. I'm going to copy and paste this, Control C, Control V. I'm going to pop that in there, and then let's tidy this up a little bit so it's easy to follow. This is going to go here, Control V, pop that in there, and then there's also something I've missed that I've not said yet. We need to set the visibility of it to visible, so then we need to tick these boxes. Okay, so when the physics object, so when we pick up this and carry it over, it'll interact with this box. It knows it's this object because we're casting to it, and then when this interacts with it, this will appear. But the problem is we'll have two of them. We'll be holding this one whilst this one is now visible. So let me show you what I mean. Compile and then go into game. So if I pick this up and place this here, we've now got two. We don't want that. No. So we're going to destroy actor. It sounds evil, but sometimes culling is necessary. So we're going to destroy actor, and we are going to do that here. So we come out of our set visibility, and then we're going to pop this out slightly, pop this one out, and this one, and then out of this, destroy actor, out of this one, destroy actor, and this one, destroy actor as well. So let me explain that. I'll show you. So when we go into the game and we have this object, we don't want multiple of them. We don't want this one and the one on the wall. So when this interacts, it seamlessly snaps in place because that one has vanished from the world like Houdini. But yet all that happened was it destroyed it perfectly in time with the other one becoming visible. So it makes it look like the players placed it into the wall. It will work the same for this one. So boom, and then the final one. So let's quickly assess our code. So we have our event tick, which is constantly checking for detection of this, and then we have our do once, and then we have down here our code for the individual pieces. Now this will never progress because this has never been called. So even though this code works and this becomes visible, we still need to call that function over here. So we're going to Alt and drag, and then we're going to call that, pop that on there, call that and tick, and then set that there and tick. So now when we place our objects into the wall, it will play the animation for the door. So let's go into our track. So that's the scene actor, our level sequencer asset. Double click and it opens this up. So let's add an audio track. You can use anything you like. I'm just going to use this one. Set the volume to 0.3. and I'm going to set the finish time to here and then close. And also let's add a sound for the objects being placed. So let's move these and let's plot a play sound at location, location being the piece, get world location, and then pop that there, drag that out, and then put that in here, and then that goes in there. So we can copy that one and that one, but let's set our sound first. Click, let's see if we can find something. That'll do. So this one, copy, paste, and then we're going to get this one, pop that in there, and then let's tidy this up into there, and then once more down here. Oops, not that one. I want that, and that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so place that there, copy this, and there we go. So we've got, let's quickly go over our code one more time. So we have our overlap, and to our puzzle piece we're going to get rid of the actor to simulate placing the object down. It's going to set the invisible piece that we have already in the scene to visible. It's going to play an audio file at the location, just like that. Let's move this down, move that there, and then move that over here. And then once it's done that, it's going to set our variable to true. Let's put that there. Stop grabbing the wrong bloody things. There we go. So now we've got our event tick set up, and we can test that in game. So we're going to place the red one, and you'll hear a click. And then we're going to place the yellow one just to show that it's in a different order. It'll work both ways. And then we're going to place the blue one just like this. And then the door will open. Okay, so there we have a multiple piece puzzle door. You can use any static mesh that you want for that code. The only thing obviously is that in order for you to be able to pick up these objects, you do need to have in your first person character blueprint, you do need to have this code. So you're going to add a right mouse button event. You're going to add a variable, you're going to add a physics handle in your components. Physics handle, just like this. You're going to drag out of that and then get a release component, just like this, which is what this is. Exactly the same. Out of your released is going to go into the released component. Out of pressed is going to go into a line trace, and then you're going to copy this so it's going to look like, let's tidy this up for you, it's going to look like this. Hope that makes sense. If you drag out of there and you get a multiply, and your multiply looks like this, right click here and then go down to convert to pin, and then click on float single precision, and then it'll look like this. Drag out of that into the bottom pin of our plus addition node, and then that goes into end and this goes into start, so it should look like that. Then out of your out hit, you're going to go into break hit results, hit component, get mass. So as long as the mass is less than 150, you can pick it up. You're going to get a get world location and a branch. So out of the line trace, you're going to go into a branch, into a second branch, into a grab component at location. So that's exactly how you set it up. This will enable you to pick up any object that has physics properties, and it will look like this. So wherever you move your mouse, it'll look around, it'll go, and then if you let go, you can throw it. You can probably do yeah. But yeah, so that's it for this tutorial. If there's any questions, leave them in the comments. Hit the like button if you found this video helpful. I really hope it was. Subscribe to help support the channel grow further, enabling me to do more tutorials. And if you want to make a donation, you can do on the donation links. They're all in my channel description. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.